Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Work at Home Rockstar podcast. I'm excited for today's guest. We have another husband and wife team. It's going to be great to talk about working with your spouse. But he's the owner of KP Designs, and they help their clients to create brands, do websites, do SEO, do ads. And I'm excited to be rocking out today with Alex Pauls. Hey, Alex, you ready to rock?
I'm ready to rock, Tim. Let's do it.
Awesome. We always start off on a good note. So tell me a story of success in your business that we can be inspired by.
I would say my most proud aspect of success would be my wife and I doubling our business the first year we were together, and then doubling it again the second year that we were together. And that, to me, that was an incredible accomplishment that I never thought could actually happen.
That's awesome. Isn't that great, eh? Too, you get to celebrate it together as well.
Oh, for sure. It's the juice is a lot sweeter when you get to like celebrate it with the person you love most in life.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, okay, and then that just kind of leads right into the bad note because did it all go as as planned, or was there things that didn't work while you were doing that?
Oh man. So I would say that the only real bad note would be me coming from corporate and out of my cubicle, not realizing how much you have to work on your business. It's a double-edged sword. Like, I'm constantly thinking about work. I'm constantly thinking about our business. I'm constantly, looking for that next big thing to do. So I would say that it's bittersweet because regular folks, they, pack up at the end of the day, they go home, they eat their dinner, they watch their Netflix. And being an entrepreneur, I didn't realize how much time you actually spend thinking about your business, dreaming about the next amazing thing that you want to accomplish. So, like I said, it's bittersweet, but I would say it's, for the most part, when those things pay off, it is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and you know what? That's really the inspiration for this podcast in the first place is that kind of stuff. Because I come from a cubicle too. I was in a cubicle more than 15 years ago. And when I left that cubicle thinking that I was going to start this business, you think, okay, well, I'm great at what I do. So, why not just cut out the boss man and make all the money myself? And it
Yeah.
turned out that there's a lot of thinking, there's a lot of strategy involved. There's a lot of things that catch you off guard that you have to spend time on. That's not the actual thing that you provide as a service, right?
Yeah.
And for some people, like probably you and definitely me, I love that. I love it. I love strategizing. I love thinking about what's going to happen next year and all that stuff and trying to figure out what to do next. But is that for everybody, do you think?
I think that it could be for everybody. I would say one of the hardest things I've had to do reprogramming my mind is getting out of that scarce mentality. Like, when you really look at the world and the 7 or 8 billion people out there and the however many millions of different companies and opportunities there are to work with somebody, coming from that corporate world, you're always trying to like fight for your little piece of meat, and you really have that. I don't know. They just like manage to program that lack mentality into you. And
Yeah.
what my wife and I have discovered is that our people find us, our people come to us. I mean, my people aren't necessarily your people. I mean, we do roughly the same thing, but I can't take care of everyone. I can't take care of all 7 billion people out there. So there's plenty of room for Tim and his wife to work together, and there's plenty of room for me and my wife to work together.
Yeah.
And and all we need is like, 20, 30 clients a year, maybe. That, I would say 20 would be perfect. And I mean, 7 billion is a huge number. That's a
Yep.
lot of people out
Yeah.
there. And I think one of the biggest things that people getting into the entrepreneur space need to realize is that the sky's the limit. And the sooner you build your brand and your voice, and the better you do doing that, you'll attract your people to you. And you won't have to worry about what the next guy's doing. You don't have to worry about if somebody's stealing from you or taking food off your table, because your table is set by you and your family, and the things that you do, and the way you present yourself in the world.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, and I think that I mean, coming from like a company perspective, like you've got that ladder, that sort of pyramid that's set up, right? And
Right.
every time you climb up that ladder, there becomes less of those positions, I think. and there's
Yeah.
more people kind of shooting for that position. So I think that's where a lot of that programming comes in. It's like, well, me and my peers are all shooting for the same job. Only one of us can get it. So if I win, they lose.
Right.
Or if they win, I lose, right? And I think that that's where that kind of comes from. Whereas when you step out and you've got your own business, well, and especially nowadays where you can do business online. I mean, clients ever all over the world. Like seriously, like this 8 billion that you're talking about, maybe it's not all 8 billion, but there's a big number of people that you can serve. And you and I can go out and obviously we have been, right? So we've
Yeah.
never crossed paths. We've never fought over the same client, right?
Yeah.
And we're still doing fine, right? So
Oh, exactly.
I think that this whole idea of the scarcity, it is in the corporate world, in the job world. But if you could have a little bit of faith, right,
Yeah,
then there's lots of room for growth in your own business, right?
for sure. I mean, one of the books that I'm writing that I've been writing for so long is called Every Day is Garbage Day. And it basically starts off with me getting hit with this lightning bolt while I was taking the garbage out that, man, I've been like climbing this corporate ladder and my ladder is up against the wrong building. I don't know if
Yeah.
you've ever heard that analogy. And I was just like, oh my goodness, like I could totally, all of a sudden I could see clearly. I could see the writing on the wall. I'm like, I'm not meant to be doing this for the rest of my life. I'm totally chasing the wrong things. All I've ever wanted, even when my wife and I first got married when we were 20, all we ever wanted was to work together, to figure out a way to work together. But I always had this government job with these golden handcuffs. And I thought, oh man, like there's no way I could be an electrical engineer and make more money. And then wouldn't you know it, like the last 2 years, we've had the best years ever. And I made more money than I ever did in a government job. And just when you can like break out of that mindset that you need the government job or you need that, you need that constant paycheck to help things going, like you don't realize the prison that you're in until you actually break out of it. Yeah, it's terrifying. Like I was
Oh,
terrified. One of the most scary things ever was leaving my pension and leaving my holidays and sick days, but I only got one shot at this life. And am I going to, have all these regrets on my deathbed? I thought about that a lot. Am I going to have regrets on my deathbed that I didn't take that chance, that risk? And I'm so happy that I did because I don't have to say what if, right? What if? And the last 2 years, yeah, my wife and I, we spent a lot of time together. We spent a lot of time together with our kids, and we made the best of a bad situation. And man, am I ever blessed for that? It's like, wow. I mean, there was lots of times we were complaining and driving each other crazy, but now I look back and it's like, man, it was like a blink of an eye, but I got to spend so much extra time with my girls. And that's, I would say most parents' regrets is not spending enough time with their kids when they're little. And here's this like crazy pandemic thing that says, oh, hey, you're all going to be locked together. And I make jokes that, oh yeah, we're all driving each other crazy. But man, I mean, all I ever wanted was as much time as possible with them because that's something I can never get back. That truly is the most precious commodity we have.
yeah, I agree. So well, let's explore that a little bit because being self-employed is, yes, it's flexible, but you still got to get the work done. And so it requires a certain amount of discipline. And actually, sometimes you may end up spending some late nights. Like, how do you work that out so that you can make sure that you're, spending time with the people that you love, but also making sure that you're bringing in the bacon, so they say.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I love that question. To me, that's probably one of the best questions you can ask an entrepreneur because I'm totally squirrely. So one of the best things you can do for yourself is figure out who the hell you are or how the hell you're going to work the best way possible, right? So luckily I figured out early on. So if anybody out there, figure this out first. I get the most done probably like 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. And if I need to, I can work later on at night, like 9 to 11. Those are my best times. It's dark, it's quiet. It's almost like being back in university when it's like you need everybody just out of your way. There's no emails coming in. It's just quiet. There's no text messages. It's just those times where I don't get pinged or distracted. So I got a good, 5 hours of really productive time. So those 5 hours easily equal 8 to 10 of a busy, office day where your phone's ringing, emails, meetings, whatever. So during the day, I I spend my time networking. I spend my time doing podcasts like we're doing right now. I spend my time on calls and meetings and then answering some emails. But as far as getting the actual work done in the business, on the business, I have my set times, kind of like hours where no one's going to bug me. So I don't know, that doesn't work for everybody, but that works for me.
Nice. Yeah, that works for me. Not the mornings. Mornings I'm not so good. But my evenings, oh geez, I get a lot more done during the evening than I do in the morning. So, and I've noticed that too. You sort of have these like times when you're like just in the zone, I guess, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like I don't like having meetings early in the morning. That is my time to get a lot of stuff done and I get irritated and I know I'm not my best self. So I tend to schedule like my Calendly, it's mostly afternoons because after lunch I'm tired and lazy. So I know I'm not going to be work productive. So I might as well go and get energized from the people I interact with and they force me to like get hyped up and not tired, right? Otherwise I'd just be slouching on the anybody who's had a big lunch and then sat in a cubicle, try and get a bunch of work done without, passing out, right?
Yeah, exactly. Now, so one of the main things about being self-employed is that you're now responsible. You're responsible for everything. You're responsible for, all the sales, all the marketing, everything up there. But also you're also responsible for, keeping your skills sharp and learning more and, all that stuff. So, how do you keep up on these things? Like, how do you learn? Do you have mentors? Do you have coaches? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, I would say when I first started with KP Design, I back engineered my position. I figured out what our company was missing, what my wife needed. And I would say if you're going to go into business with somebody, there's so many solopreneurs out there. And it boggles my mind because if I didn't have my wife, who is already an entrepreneur and could help me learn a lot of the tricks of the trade, get a business coach. But there's a lot of resources for learning stuff. So I used a lot of resources to engineer my position. I had a lot of previous skills, but then when it was time to get to that next level, we hired a business coach, Erin Marcus from Conquer Your Business. So shout out to Erin Marcus, and she really helped me figure out the activities that I was doing that created money for our business, separate that from the busy work that I was doing that made no money. But I tended to be spending more time on it because I enjoyed doing that busy work.
Yeah.
And once you see that in black and white, like these are the things that Tim and Alex need to do to make money, do more of that. Hire somebody, a VA, whatever, a position, as soon as you can, as soon as you have enough money. Stop doing the things that don't make you money and spend your time doing the things that make you money and pay somebody else to do those other things. To me, that was a huge game changer for our business.
Yeah, and actually it's a pretty common thing that people will say that if I were to do it again, I would hire somebody quicker, right? I would
Yeah.
delegate quicker. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things I learned too was to bring somebody on before you're ready. Because when you're ready, it's already too late. You need to be like uncomfortable and just, that you need to, so just do it. That to me, that was one of the biggest learning tips from a business coach.
Yeah, especially like because I totally relate to you. I think we're probably similar personalities, like just that busy work that makes you feel productive, right? And it's
Yeah.
not necessarily things that really you need to do, right?
Yeah.
Maybe someone has to do it, but I mean, you could hire somebody for, $15 an hour to do it, probably,
Sure.
right? It's not like a special task. Um, but if because we're productive type people, I'm sure that bringing somebody on and handing all that stuff off, now you can't do it. Now you got to go find something else to do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it might even like pull you out of that comfort zone and go, okay, well, I can't do all the stuff I'm comfortable doing. What else can I do? Right?
Well, yeah, we tend to do the work that we like to do, which ends up being that busy work. And I really think that this comes from our programming in schools and then in university, and then in our cubicle jobs, we like once you get your cubicle job, no matter what you do, you get paid. I mean,
Yeah.
eventually things have to get done, but you can do that busy work and you can like look busy and that's great, right? Even as an electrician, when I was a power electrician, I had my busy work, but as long as everything got done, great. When you're a business owner, when you're an entrepreneur, you you just have to like flush that crap down the toilet, and it's time to work on the things that are going to make you money because at the end of the day, you did this to be free, not to be busy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you 100%. In a cubicle job, it's more important to look busy than it is to get things done,
Yeah,
right?
it's a total mind shift. And I wish that the schools did a better job of teaching kids that. I mean, I teach my kids this kind of stuff now while they're, even my youngest daughter, she's kind of mentoring under us and she's
Nice.
15. So she's getting a lot of lessons that I wish I would have had when I was that age because I never like, I mean, coming out of school, you don't think that way. You just think, oh, I'm going to graduate, I'm going to get this job, and then I'm just going to do that job for 30 years and then retire.
Yeah, that world is over now. Like
Yeah.
so over. So I hear you. Our kids are teens as well, and it's really I can just imagine. Like I kind of wish my parents were in that situation when I was going to school because you would actually probably see a lot of the contrast as well. You'd look at your friends' parents, you'd look at what you're learning in school, and then you come home and your parents do things totally different and they work together. You know what I mean? It
Oh
would,
yeah, my kids always call us like the weird parents. We're
yeah.
the weirdos. But at the same time, their friends are saying, "Man, your parents are like really cool." Like
Oh yeah.
but my kids don't see the coolness, right?
No,
Like
no.
it's so funny to hear the friends say, "Man, your parents really like each other," and our girls are like, "Well, yeah, they're supposed to, aren't they?" But they don't realize that there's troubled households out there, and I mean that's a sad reality. But I'm happy for the foundation that we have, that the house that we built, and for them to learn under us. I mean, to me, that's a huge accomplishment. That's one of the things I'm most proud of is showing my girls what's possible.
Nice. Awesome. So
Yeah.
now one of the big struggles with working from home is finding a spot, getting a good home office set up. So let's talk a little bit about the jam room, I guess is what I call it.
Yeah. I love that topic. We have so everybody's house is totally different, right? At the beginning of the pandemic, my wife actually set up her office in the walk-in closet, which was hilarious. She just wanted this like quiet place away from the kids, and she was getting her work done. And then that only lasted for a little while. And we turned our upstairs, we have like an upstairs bonus living room. So we just decided one day we are going to tear it up, get the couch out of here, get the TV out of here, get the kids' crap out of here, and we're turning it into KP Design headquarters. We got our two desks, we have our library. I actually have, you can't see it here, but I have a huge bookshelf that I have in front of me to limit the distractions of the people that walk by. I mean, ideally it would be a wall with a door, but it's
Yeah.
kind of nice to have it set up like that. But my wife and I, we actually, so you can't see her, but she would be she's not here right now, but she's on the left side of me. That's where her desk is. And whenever we need our quiet time, we put on our noise canceling headphones and we escape into our mental cubicles, if you will. And I'm probably a lot louder than she is because she's just doing the creative work, and I'm talking to people on the phone
Yeah.
and like I said, doing podcasts and things like that. So, but I think we've done a great job of turning what we thought was a room that we absolutely needed for the kids to lounge in into like our work area. And the kids don't miss it. Like me and mom we're up here and you guys are downstairs in the adult living room now. And they like that. They're by the kitchen, they can snack, they can do whatever. And we basically took over their toy room and turned it into KP Design headquarters. And I already have so if we do another podcast, you'll see after the winter, I'm going to totally revamp this with some built-in desks. It's gonna be slick.
Wow, that's awesome.
Hi, it's Mark Mawhinney from Natural Born Coaches, and I want to give two very big thumbs up to Tim Melanson and his Creative Crew Agency. I have been using them for a long time, and I am 100% happy. They get the job done right. They're fast, and they let me focus on my business. I don't have to worry about anything. So again, I want to give them 2 very big thumbs up. I have no problem recommending them. I don't give testimonials for everyone because my name is attached to it, but I gladly do so for Tim and the Creative Crew Agency. So use them. You won't regret it, and good luck.
Yeah, we did the same thing, only we took the basement.
There you go. See, that's the ticket.
Yeah. And it's like you like sort of like it's this I don't know rule that the teens get the basement, right? Well, we're
Yep.
like, no, none of that. We took the whole basement over, and now that's where actually we have our bedrooms down here as well. We just
Oh well.
we gave them the master, and now they have the upper floor, like you say, the kitchen's right there, and everybody's happy. And we can come down here. We've got our own little apartment. It's fantastic. I think anyway. You have
I
to
envy you.
make
Our
it work,
basement
right?
is yeah, our basement happens to be our Airbnb suite. So we have like an extra business. But I joke, it's like, man, if I could, I would totally move down there because you got like, I don't know, when I was a teenager, I had a basement room and I loved it. It was like living on my own already.
Yep.
So if I did it again, I would be totally at home. My wife likes big windows and light, and I could care less about that stuff.
Well, we do have bay windows on her side, right? And so yeah, she has lots of light down here. But yeah,
Nice.
man, we call it an apartment, our own apartment. And it was so funny when the kids figured out that what we were doing. Like, because at first it was like, oh, you're getting the master bedroom, this. And then all
Yeah.
of a sudden, our daughter comes down. She's like, wait a minute. So that means you have the whole basement? Yes, we do.
Yeah. Living the dream.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So now, what about okay? I mean, in order to really get moving, you got to get people liking you. You got to get fans.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, what's your strategy on, bringing in business, I guess, doing the marketing and all that?
I would say for us, it's funny. You try and like pinpoint that tangible thing, right? You try to
Mm,
pinpoint it as best you can, and without like sounding cocky or anything. My wife and I have found that people like us combined. So when the two of us are together doing like podcasts or social media or our photos, even on Zoom meetings, when we meet with people, like they just really click. Not everybody, but I would say our clients, when they meet with us and we're together, they like our dynamic. That's what they like. It helps that we have like elevated visuals, and our website is, like I said, I'm trying to be humble, but I think our website is top notch. And when people come to it, like we really try to showcase us as a premier website branding strategist, consultant company that can help you get to that level as well. There's nothing worse than going to a website company's website and it just looks terrible. And then you go look at some of the work they've done and
yeah.
it's like, is this from 1997 or what? So we really try to incorporate the elite visuals with the fun and charismatic combination of the two of us. Like we're very different, but we're very relatable. We just want to be relatable with people. And I find that when people like you and get to spend some time with you, and then they get that trust factor and they know that we're taking care of all of their needs. Like we don't farm out any of our designs, any of our websites. We do it all ourselves. So, and we do it in a short amount of time. So not only are you getting it like quick, you're getting it at a exceptional price, and it's going to be exceptional work. So we like to do the best value formula. And yeah, so far it's really like, and then the other thing was when we found out was not being the most expensive and not being the cheapest, but being that best value and conveying that to the people. Like, yeah, we're not the cheapest. It's okay. We're also not the most expensive, but you get that, you get us, you're buying us, you're getting this experience, and people like our people really tend to like that. And I bet you, it's probably the same thing for you too. Like when people meet you and they get that vibe, it's like, yeah, this is the guy I want to work with. Like this guy's cool.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I love this podcast because it's like really making a good case for, couples working together.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
and I feel like I get the same thing. Like it's and I can see it. It's kind of endearing, right? You know, you get on
Yeah.
the phone. Oh, you're a husband and wife duo. That's interesting. You guys work together. You are. Oh, okay. And then like you have these complementary skills, right? Obviously, you know, someone does some, and they're just. I think it's just something that you know anybody. I mean, if I was on a phone call and I was working with a team like that, I think that'd be cool. It'd be like, oh wow, this is really cool. You got both sides, and then as you said earlier, you know, as a couple, you can work really efficiently. I mean, you have to. You've got to figure some stuff out, right?
Yeah.
And so when it comes down to it, like things are pretty seamless between the two working together. It's not like I'm sending it off to India or whatever it happens to be, right?
Yeah.
It's like no, I'm just dealing with this couple and they're doing everything, and it's fantastic. Like I think
Yeah.
that if you can get into a situation where you can work with your spouse, like I recommend it. I think it's fantastic, right?
Oh, for sure. And I always say, like, my origin story was my wife sitting me down and, like, basically saying, look, this is my company. I've been working on it for 18 years. You're not allowed to screw this up. If you're gonna do something, do it. Don't like overpromise, underdeliver. So I got the big talking to right away. We established right away who the CEO was. I have visions. And there's a lot of times where she's like, no, I don't want to grow this. Like one of my big visions was to grow us into an agency
Yeah.
and to have people underneath us and to eventually sell this business. She did not want that. And I'm like, okay, that's the CEO. And I had to put my ego aside and be like, okay, well, I mean, who am I to come in and, you know, pull the rug out from under her and say, no, look, this is something that we're going to build to be a $10 million agency and we're going to sell it when we're 55 and head off into the sunset. And she wasn't having that. She just wants a few clients every month. She wants it to be small, priced well, work with the right people and enjoy ourselves. And if one day our daughters want to take over, we hand it over to them and we start working on the next thing. But retirement just isn't for me. I tried it once and I was like, no, this is boring. And it's like you gotta figure it out. So like when I left my corporate job, I took a big payout and we traveled Europe for 6 months with our kids, and then I had another 6 months off to kind of figure out what did I want to do next with my life, and that's when the writing began and the creativity and figuring out, okay, like what's that next chapter going to look like. And I realized in that I did not want to retire because I had built up this lifetime of skills and I just can't imagine not using them ever again, just sitting on a beach or whatever and just letting all that go to waste. I think our lives are too precious to just not share our knowledge either. Like when we get to a certain age, we need to share that knowledge with
Yeah.
the younger people, and we can still be very valuable that way.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, I always think about I feel bad for people that work their butts off all year for that one vacation, right?
Yeah,
Whereas, you know, I tend to think of it more like, why not just create a life that you enjoy, that you don't have to escape from? It's
for
not to
sure.
say that, you know, a trip wouldn't be awesome every once in a while. Uh, but I mean, you know, it's just I think that if you are careful with and it sounds like your wife's got it figured out with you know, setting up a mission statement and figuring out exactly who you are and what kind of lifestyle you want to live, you can make that work. It takes some hard work and it takes some faith, but you know, you're listening to two couples that are doing it. So,
For
you know,
sure. I mean, have you ever done like a road trip or a business trip that was half vacation? Have you ever done that? Like we did that in April, and our kids still talk about how much they enjoyed it, and they don't remember us going to some meetings in Phoenix. They were too busy in the pool playing and having fun in our Airbnb while mom and dad were out at a couple meetings. They don't remember any of that, but we managed to get away for the winter and have this trip that they still talk about, which is it's so funny. But yeah, we killed two birds with one stone.
yeah, we've done a few little mini trips like that, but Nicole and I really have been working full time together since like the lockdowns, and So we haven't really done a whole lot of traveling since then. However, that's in the future for sure. We'll
Sure.
definitely be doing a little bit more of that stuff, and I think it's going to be fun. I think it's great. We've done a few trips where I've had to work, but she didn't. But yeah,
I'm
it's
still
awesome.
trying to convince my kids to be homeschooled.
Yeah, yeah,
Like they think, oh, I don't want you to teach me. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm not teaching you anything. I said, you're teaching yourself. Like homeschooling's just you're on your own schedule. I said, you like my oldest daughter, you could have a job and do a little bit of homeschool and you're set. Like you're already like paying all your bills. And I said, you could probably travel on your own by the time you're 16 or 17. But these kids, they're just so they don't realize how much freedom they could have
yeah.
with they want to they're too busy wanting to fit in with society.
That's I was just gonna say that it's a social aspect of it all, right? And I kind of get that. High school was all about the social life and all that, and so but on the other hand, yeah, you're right, eh? How much further would they have been? Like if I could go back and redo it, I would have definitely taken an entrepreneur class rather than go to high school and even university. Like I took a
Oh,
degree in university and I wouldn't do that again. No, I mean it
right?
was a great social experiment and social experience, but other than that, when it comes to the learning of it, I'm not using hardly anything that I learned in university. Everything that I do now has been learned by me since university. So, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I always said coming out of college and university, I probably used about 5% of
Hmm.
what I learned. I
Hmm.
mean, I took advanced calculus, physics,
All right.
even being an electrical engineer, I never used any of that. All I did was emails and meetings
Yeah.
and look at some things. I'm like, this is where did all my education go? I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah. I took computer science, and hey, sure, I'm building websites, but it's not coding anymore. There's no coding really involved in building website. Well, I mean, you can, but you don't have to anymore. The tools are so incredibly good that you don't have to get
Yeah.
down to nitty
Like
gritty of coding
it's
anymore.
nice to have those things, but
Yeah.
now that I mean, one of the things that we talk about is AI, and everybody's freaking out that AI is going to take their jobs,
Yeah.
and it's like, but that's not the thing. If you're really good at what you do, you can wield this tool to make you a lot more efficient. Like, yeah, you're a computer scientist, you can code, you can get ChatGPT to code you a bunch of stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, if you and me both did that, mine would be garbage and yours would still be 10 times better because you would know what to tell
What
it
to
to do.
ask? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there's a lot of power in that. There's a lot of power in the knowledge that you have. And so many people are like, oh, websites, like ChatGPT can just make a website. I'm like, yeah, well, ChatGPT is going to make a piece of crap and it's going to probably fall apart in 2 minutes. But
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever. I said, if we do it and we use these tools, man, think about how much more efficient we would be and how much better products we can keep making for our clients. So we really look at the way things are changing, but not in a negative way. There's so many people that can look at it negatively, right?
You can look at anything negatively and you can look at anything positively, but that, I mean, I think that'll be one of the things that is common about every guest that's been on this podcast is we look more at the positive side than the negative side. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here, I don't think, right?
Oh yeah, I mean this has nothing to do with me, but just an example of a funny opportunity that this young girl somewhere in the States, she used ChatGPT for writing greeting cards, and
Yeah.
she used another AI art tool to create like the images for these things, and then she just combined them and put them on an Etsy shop, and she makes money
Wow.
doing that. I'm like, and she's 15 years old. I'm like, that's like the world is like Grand Theft Auto. Like it's just this big sandbox that you can just do. When you realize that you can do incredible things and you figure out how to game the system, man, like life's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I can talk forever, but it's time for your guest solo because we're running out of time here. So tell me what's exciting in your business right now.
I would say the exciting thing right now is it's been a grind. I would say that 2023 has been a grind, but having a partner like my wife and working hard and just tweaking and figuring things out, it's very interesting. And then using these AI tools to our advantage, and a lot of the people that we've been networking with are a lot higher level because we feel like there's so much stuff has dropped off in the past, and the cream is kind of rising to the top right now. So I'm really seeing that a lot of potential for big things for our business. It's just a matter of us, and we've kind of like weathered the storm. I would say from April to June, we were just kind of like, what's going on? Like all the things that we used to be doing weren't quite working. So we tweaked them, and now things are starting to like bear fruit. So it's a testament to resiliency. So if I can say anything to anybody, is be resilient, try different things, don't give up on yourself, and know that if you, it's all mindset. If you keep your mindset positive, yeah, there's going to be tough days, but the incredible things that are on the horizon, if you just keep going, you can't, your resiliency, just be unstoppable, do incredible things, find an awesome partner to work with, because you can just go so much further with somebody than you can by yourself. And when you happen to be married to that person, it's an even more fun adventure. It's not always perfect, but it is pretty awesome when you get to go and chase that carrot down the line together and build that future for yourselves.
Love it. Yeah, when it comes to resiliency, I've always found that it takes about 3 months to build some momentum, and it takes
Sure.
also 3 months for that momentum to disappear too.
Yeah.
So sometimes it'll take you 3 months to realize that what you're doing is no longer working anymore, and then another 3 months to actually build it back up again. So that kind of sounds exactly like what happened with you guys. You guys are now probably in pretty good shape, is my
Yeah.
guess.
We were so full throttle for about 3 years, we were exhausted. And
Yeah.
then this 3 month where it was kind of quiet, I looked at Katia. I said to her, this is our chance to rest. Like, this is the universe telling us it's just time to rest, not panic. Think about what we're enjoying and what we're not enjoying. And almost like a tree, like a bonsai tree, you just chop off the
Yep.
leaf
Pruning.
that you're not enjoying, and let that tree bear the fruit again. And I'm telling you, it's pretty, yeah, I'm getting goosebumps, but it's pretty magical when you have patience with yourself and you're kind to yourself. And like I said, again, it just helps to have that partner to bounce things off of. So if you don't have a partner, get a mentor, get a business coach, somebody that's going to be honest with you and help you go in the right direction. And man, it's so valuable.
Love it. So tell me again where we find you.
Yeah, so you can find us in a couple places. You can find us at conqueryourbusiness.com. My wife and I, we do business development, branding, consulting for businesses, websites, and then you can also find us at kpdesign.ca. And both of those, get to know us, reach out, and we love talking to people. If we're not the right ones for you, I love to network with people, and I am more than happy to share. Like just for example, we don't do Shopify sites. We don't do e-commerce sites, and I'm happy to refer people to some of my friends in the industry. And like I said, it's okay to not be for everyone.
No,
And
yeah, of course.
don't think that you need to work with everyone. It's not always going to be a perfect match. So so conqueryourbusiness.com, kpdesign.ca. And check out what we're doing, and if you like it, give us a shout. And I just wanted to say thanks so much for your time, Tim. It was really fun talking to you.
No problem. Yeah, and thanks so much for rocking out with me as well. It's been a good time. To the listeners, make sure you subscribe, rate, and comment. We'll see you next time on the Work at Home Rockstar podcast.